Power from one shaft to the another shaft can be transmitted by means of belt, rope and chain and gears. Each method has its own advantage and application, but the belts or rope drive is usually used when shafts are at considerable distance apart. In such drives, the power transmitted mainly depends on the friction between the belts and pulley materials. The velocity of the belt and the tension under which the belt is installed, and the arc of contact between the belt and the smaller pulleys. This power transmission is very important consideration, and that it's a power transmission device or drives is used depending upon the distance between the two shafts, and according to that we will select the specific drives for specific purpose. Mainly we are using these are the different types of drives which is very much useful depending upon the conditions of distance: belt, rope, chain and gears. And that let us discuss about the belt and belt drives. Basically, belt drives, when the belt drives are used, the minimum distance between the shaft is kept 3.5 times the diameter of larger pulley, and it should not exceed more than 10 meters. The pulley should not be too close, and tight side of the belt should be on the bottom side so that the sag of the belt will increase the arc of contact on the pulleys. The power may be transmitted into the two ways by connecting the belt or the pulleys. First side is an open belt drive system and second one is a closed belt drive system. These are the two types of system. Here in open belt drive system, to transmit the power, if the both shafts are rotated in the same direction, in such conditions we are using the open belt drive. In the second conditions, it's a closed belt drive system. The transmit the power, it is in opposite direction of motion. In such conditions we are using the closed or it is cross belt drive system we are using. Let us discuss about the next transmission, like a chain drives. Chain drives are used to transmit the power from one shaft to the another when the distance between the center of the shaft is so short. In a belt drive, some sort of slip may occur. To avoid the slippage of the chain drives are used, which is positive drive, which transmit the power without any loss. The elements of the chain drives: chain are made of rigid links which are hinged together in order to provide the necessary flexibility of wrapping around the driven and driving wheel. And driving and driven wheel, these wheels have projecting the teeth and fit into the corresponding recesses in a link of the chain. So these are the views of the chain drives. These are the chain with oval link and these are the chain with square link. The next drives and is a very much useful. It is also called as a positive drive. Is nothing but the gear trains, or it's a gear drive. A gear trains is a combination of the gears used to transmit the motion from one shaft to the another shaft. Becomes necessary when it is required to obtain the large speed reduction with a small space. This in such conditions is transmits power from one shaft to the another shaft. The distance is so less. In such conditions we are using the Gear drives. There are different types of gear trains we are using. The simple gear train. In a simple gear train, it simply transport the power from one gear to the second gear to the third gear, and we are using to reduce the motion or reduce the power. Second one is the compound gear train. Means in a compound gear train, in a one shaft, more than one gear is mounted. Means first gear is transferred to the power. Third gear means one shaft. You have to mount two gears. Is called as a compound gear train and a reverted gear trains. In a reverted gear trains, two gears are transmit the power from two gears, which is mounted on the another shaft. Is a planetary or epicyclic gear train. When the exists relative motion of the axis in the gear train, it is called epicyclic or planetary gear train. The axis of at least one of the gear also moves relative to the frame, and large speed reductions are possible with epicyclic gears, and if the fixed wheel is annular, more compact unit could be obtained. Important application of epicyclic gear train are in transmission and computing the device.